Hi guys, what's up? I'm Mary Richardson, Rapid Transformational Therapy Practitioner. Wanted to make this video for you today all about anxiety and you. What I do is I help professionals and entrepreneurs to get past the things that are keeping them stuck, whether that's procrastination, self-doubt, low self-esteem, and especially anxiety. Maybe that's caused from a past narcissistic relationship, a traumatic, toxic relationship, or just a difficult childhood. Maybe you're repeating the same patterns as an adult, and the anxiety has just really gotten to be too much. That's what this video is all about, so let's jump in. I want to talk about what is anxiety. I'm going to list off some things that you might be experiencing, even some kind of uncommon things that are becoming more well-known. You might be able to relate to these. So anxiety can be generalized, it can be specific, but generally what happens is anxiety that is unchecked, meaning just sort of running rampant in your mind, in your life, in your body, it ratchets up and gets worse and worse. And the reason is because that fight, flight, or flee mechanism in your brain is in the amygdala. So it's in a part of your brain that is designed to help determine in any situation at any time all throughout your life, if the situation you're in, what you're experiencing is a time where you are in danger and need to fight, flee, or freeze. There's another category also, as well as appease. Children and adults really who are in toxic relationships or in a toxic environment, whatever that is for you, might be experiencing this appease learned behavior. What it involves is that if you're in if you have a toxic parent, maybe a narcissistic parent who they're always right, they're never wrong, everybody else is wrong, but they're never wrong. As a child, you may learn to appease that person. So you can't run from this person. You can't freeze, stay frozen in not dealing with things. And you can't really cope with it other than to kind of appease them. If you can imagine in a situation like that, you kind of might say the right things to just keep them happy all the time, even though you're walking on eggshells all the time. Of course, they don't care about that. A narcissist never does. They only care about themselves. So maybe you have a narcissistic boss and you've just learned to just appease them, give them what they want, because they will constantly push against your boundaries till you either knock the boundary down yourself or they just walk all over it anyway. Until they get what they want. So the appeasement can cause you a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety in your life. So if you are experiencing this, you might find that it's causing other issues in your relationships, in your personal life. You might have trouble adapting to different situations. You might even have panic attacks. Any type of trauma that is ongoing, even long-term. Maybe you experienced it as a child, and now you have surrounded yourself with people just like the people that raised you because it was familiar, and the brain loves what's familiar. What happens is if you have prolonged anxiety, ongoing anxiety, it ratchets up and can go into things like becoming a panic attack. Even as you're trying to go to sleep at night, when you're perfectly safe, everything's fine, or in your environment, that fight, flight, or flee mechanism, it's like an alarm system that just keeps going off at different times. So if you can imagine a building with an alarm system that is easily triggered, anything can trigger the alarm system, even nothing. So that's a little bit what panic attacks are like, where there's no apparent trigger. You're just trying to go to sleep. And maybe you like sleep and you need sleep, but you're panicked in that panic attack. So these are some symptoms that you need to get to the root cause. That's always the answer. for most people, getting to the root cause of what is triggering the anxiety and sort of fixing that alarm system so that it's triggered when it needs to be triggered, but not just all throughout the day. What happens with people, you might be experiencing this as you have anxiety, your world might be getting smaller and smaller because you're doing less things. You're not going for that job promotion or making new friends, or even reaching out to people and joining different groups because of the anxiety. So something that anxiety may trigger is something called DPDR. With severe anxiety, it's depersonalization, derealization. What that is when you stop feeling your feelings and you just feel numb. This can go on for an hour, a day, a week, even indefinitely. So and it can, as you can imagine, cause problems in relationships where you're just not feeling your feelings. You're just, depersonalization feels like you're outside of your body. And you know what reality is, and you can move your arms and legs and talk and think, and you know what reality is, but it's very scary because you don't feel grounded in your body. You feel like you're always hovering outside your body. Derealization is another symptom of strong anxiety. It's a coping mechanism your brain has where you feel separated from the world. In other words, you're interacting with people, but you feel like there's a glass between you and the world, like you're in your own container kind of feeling, where you actually may not even feel real. If you're experiencing these, they're often caused by ongoing anxiety that is unchecked and just is running rampant. In other words, those what if thoughts that you think sometimes that are negative, they're always negative. If you just let those go and don't fight that, don't redirect those thoughts, they will take you down many dark rabbit holes that you don't want to go down. Soon you'll start questioning, maybe I shouldn't even get in the car. Maybe I shouldn't go here. Maybe I shouldn't do this. And your world begins to become smaller and smaller. A way to get through this, past this, and over this in the short term is to get a hold of those what if thoughts and really interact with the what if thoughts. Allow yourself a time. Okay, 10 seconds, that's the only amount of time I'm going to entertain these negative what if thoughts. After that 10 seconds, you think of something positive. You can look also around your environment. If you're having a panic attack, it's very helpful to stay grounded. A way to stay grounded is to bring yourself into the present moment. So you're not worried about the past or the future. You're in the moment. And to keep you grounded, something that you might do is hold something cold, an ice pack, an ice cube. That will definitely bring you back to the present moment. Also, you can name things in your immediate environment. That will help you refocus, redirect your mind so that you don't focus so much on the panic attack. Fighting anxiety makes it worse. So we're not fighting the panic attack, we're redirecting it. Not fighting the anxiety, just bringing you to a point where you're grounded in the present moment. Anxiety is always about worrying about the past or the future, not so much about the present, except in extreme situations, obviously, in war, in a hostage situation, something like that, of course. We're talking about anxiety that has no apparent cause and you just experience it all day. So a way to get past anxiety is to block those obsessive thoughts, those what if thoughts. Let's go back to DPDR, depersonalization, derealization. I think a lot of people experience this in their lifetime. I read somewhere that 50% of the population experiences this, where you don't feel a part of your body. And a lot of people probably don't talk about it because they think they're going crazy or that it could be schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is complete detachment from reality. Schizophrenics often can't distinguish between what's real and what's not real. DPDR is different. It's just as if it's like an out-of-body experience. So you might experience some common keys to look for to see if you have DPDR is if even events that were recent, they might feel like they're in the distant past. Things around you, as you look around your environment, things might seem black and white, or there's no color, or even that they're in 2D or cartoonish, or as if there's special effects going on around you. You know what's real, but this distorted, what you're seeing is feeling like it's distorted. So this isn't a permanent condition, although it can go on indefinitely. Sometimes it goes away on its own. But if you have already been aware of this and you already know you have anxiety, this video is really designed for you because you've probably already tried a few things to understand it, get control of it, get control of your anxiety. And if you haven't been, nothing really has really worked, drop a comment, ask me a question, let me know what it's like for you. Because this DPDR, if it goes on, you might begin to feel like you're a robot where your emotions and your feelings are just numb, almost as if you're not feeling anything. Of course, it's a way that your brain is trying to protect you and keep you safe in the world. But feeling that every day, even when there's no apparent trigger, can make you feel completely detached from what's going on around you. Like you're talking, speaking, thinking, but you have this sort of fragmented sense of consciousness. And you might not, if you had long-term drama as a child, anxiety as an adult, you might not realize how long you've been doing and experiencing depersonalization or derealization. If it's become a problem for you, again, drop a comment, a question, click like or subscribe so you will be notified every time I upload a new video. But it can help, it can prevent you from overcoming it, because you won't, having DPDR, you have trouble adapting to different situations and you automatically depersonalize or derationalize, have this derealization from your environment. So you're not connected to your body or your environment, and that's not good. You want to be able to develop better coping skills so that no matter what life throws at you, you'll be able and confident that you can handle it. What I do is I help people in a complete, in their like, I guess you could say 360-degree look at their life, not just their work life that might be stressful, but your relationship, your childhood, your everyday life, your time at home, your relationships, everything, so that all of it can be healed, so you can move forward powerfully, not avoiding one aspect of your life or certain things that you think are triggering that. Anyway, I'll end the video here. Definitely understand anxiety. Definitely. I've experienced a lot of it in my life and developed different coping skills. I've actually experienced depersonalization. Derealization is a little bit like if you're in a car wreck and you're sort of going through the motions, but you don't really feel connected to what's going on because it's so stressful and traumatic for you. That's kind of what it's like. But it's the numbing feeling. So I'll end it here, and I wish you well. Please leave me a comment, but you definitely can get through this, past this. Some coping skills with anxiety are to not fight it, go through it. Awareness is always the first thing of how you're coping with anxiety. Are you experiencing DPDR? Have you experienced where you're not doing things even that you like to do because of your anxiety? What have you done to overcome it? Deep breaths, naming things in your environment, trying to stay grounded is really, really important to taming that anxiety monster that you might feel is controlling you. I'll see you in the next video. I do have several videos. You can look up and around this one to see my next video, all about depersonalization, derealization, anxiety, narcissistic relationships. Check out those videos as well. Drop me a comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.